Hey YouTube, Tara Patricia here. Welcome to my channel. Imagine having a secret your whole life, one that torments you, coming to peace with it and deciding to dedicate yourself to helping others and discovering the true concepts of self-love. Then bam, having part of your brain shut down and finding yourself in the middle of the biggest battle of your entire life. That's my story, and it's time for me to share it.
Right about now.
Okay, so this is my About Me video. And I could give you my resume. I could tell you that I have my master's in clinical psychology and that I've done 5 years advanced postgraduate studies past then. I could tell you that I worked with suicidal adolescents, and I could go into how rewarding that time was for me. I could tell you that I've written self-help articles and they've been published internationally and domestically. And I could also go into my 15 years that I took to study formally and informally the concepts of self-love and self-acceptance. And of course, I could tell you about my 3 children and that I'm a mom of 3 and it's my favorite thing in the whole wide world. I can make a whole video on all of that. But that's not really what I want to focus on. While it's all important, and that's why I kind of stuck it in there, what I really want to talk to you about is my story of overcoming and the process that it brought me through. So let's get going. On January 29th, 2019, my life changed forever. I had been really exhausted before that. I noticed a big difference, but you know, you put it up to just doing too much. I started off with little symptoms like a lot of headaches, not feeling just right, something was off. And by the end of that day, I thought I was going to pass out. I called my friend, she brought me to the doctors. My blood pressure was going up and down sporadically, so she decided to draw some blood and figure out what was going on. Long story short, I had all kinds of strange symptoms, but the biggest one was spinning. Now I've had vertigo before, but this was like vertigo on super drive. And whenever I used my eyes to do anything, it would get even worse. So that meant no distraction, no way to get out of the fact that I was spinning. I couldn't watch TV, I couldn't read a book, I couldn't go on my phone, and even closing my eyes, that didn't make a difference. There was nothing that I could do to distract from the fact that I was spinning horrifically. And then on top of that, the pain that began to just take over my body was incredible. I felt like someone was taking a baseball bat to the back of my head most of the time. And then slowly but surely, the left side of my body started slowing down. Now I was really scared. Because you see, I had gone from specialists to other specialists, from doctor to doctor, and they had run all kinds of tests on me, and everything was coming back normal. But I knew it wasn't normal. I knew something was wrong. The only thing they could see was my white cell count was so elevated. So we started doing different antibiotics and different things trying to handle that. I did get to a neurologist who was treating me for vertigo and vestibular migraines, put me on some medication that helped a little bit. They kept tweaking medications, changing things for me, but I still was not getting any luck. And I was sinking deeper and deeper down into a madness that I cannot even begin to explain to you. There was no relief from my torture. I had no end date in sight. No one could tell me what was wrong. It was maddening. It took me 5 months to get any answers, or at least to get me started on the right path. You see, one of the doctors, he missed some of the results of my test. And so I sat there, not knowing that I had an infection that was shutting down my brain. The day I figured this all out, I went through so many emotions. I went from anger to betrayal, to sadness, to shock, to fear, to complete numbness. But you see, what was important about this time was that I didn't get any answers, but instead I had 5 months to sit within this madness, 5 months to really figure it all out. And at the time, I didn't realize it, but my brain was taken out of the picture completely. I couldn't think right. Half of my brain was shutting down. And I was unable to think and process things the way I used to. And this is so important, because had I had answers, I would have been focused on healing. But what I did there, unknowing to myself, is my brain moved out of the way, and I started integrating everything at a heart level. So all those years of knowledge, all those years of formal study, all my experiences, I couldn't process them through my brain any longer. I had to take them in at my heart. I had to really feel them and learn them and connect to them. You see, in my past, I went through a lot. I had sexual abuse in my childhood. That was my secret that tormented me. I've dealt with suicidal ideations and suicidal attempts. And all of this stuff came back up. You can imagine sitting there for 5 months spinning. I mean, I didn't have one break. I didn't have one moment where I was not spinning. And I had no answers. So you can imagine the thoughts that went through me. And trust me, I had enough medicine and enough time alone to do some of the things I was thinking. But as I began to process all of this on a heart level, I sunk deeper and deeper into a love for myself. I returned to a connection of myself where I really discovered life and a lot of the secrets that I had been missing along the way. Eventually, I did receive a diagnosis. Turns out I had an infection that affected my brain. It damaged my right temporal lobe, affected my brain stem, it affected my vestibular nerve and some of my facial nerves. It caused so much inflammation throughout my entire body because I sat for so long that it actually began to affect and somewhat damage some of my organs, like my liver, for instance. I was unable, and still to this day, I'm still getting back. I'm at 29 now, but I had gotten down to a very small amount of foods that I could even take because all the other foods would turn into neurotoxins in my system. By the time I was finally diagnosed, the left side of my body was in the 20th percentile when it came to walking and balance, and I had little to no adaptation whatsoever on the left side. So I started off in a harness and went to a walker and really relearned a whole bunch of stuff. I do still have some localized seizuring today that I'm dealing with and some other issues, but I've come a real long way with it. My journey was really long, so much so that I can't obviously cover it in just a short 8 minutes. But the important part is it brought me through so much. You see, I was able to integrate so many beautiful secrets that I had missed before because my brain wasn't in the way. I wasn't thinking like we always do. It was only going to my heart. I could only feel. So I learned things like life doesn't happen to me, it happens for me. I learned that by going inward, I actually expand and become who I am, or actually reconnect with who I am. And that's why I'm here. Because returning to yourself and really connecting to true self-love, it is the most incredible feeling in the entire world. And I'm excited to share my experience with you all and watch as you all rediscover and connect to your love too. Because there is nothing better than that. Okay, y'all, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. You can go to my website, innerpathcoachingservices.com. You can also friend me on Instagram and Facebook. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you back here on Friday so we can talk some more. And that, my friends, was about me.
It's good to be alive right about now.